We are told that the majority of Sirians left our planet sometime shortly after EA's appearance as Jesus Christ. There was supposedly an election on Ša.AM.e, and all Sirians wanted to participate, because this was allegedly the first democratic election on their planet. Well, I use the words supposedly and allegedly, because I must say I don't always believe what the Sirians are telling LPGC. There are many options as of what Ša.AM.e can be, and we can only do our best to put the pieces together. Soon we can start speculating about, with some evidence, what Ša.AM.e is all about. But I want to wait a couple of papers until I release that information, because new evidence actually seems to be revealed as we speak. Still, I want to say already now what I think it is not and a few tidbits of what it may be, subject to change. I do not think Ša.AM.e is the home planet of the Sirians, something both Sitchin, LPGC, and U2 states it is. According to them, there is no home planet in the star system of Sirius anymore, and Ša.AM.e is it, that's their world. I would say with quite some confidence that this is not the case. We know that the Sirian kings, with the being Sitchin calls Anu as the Canis Canem, the king of kings, are residing on their home planet, orbiting either Sirius A or B. That's the headquarters of the Sirian Empire. What it looks to me is that Ša.AM.e may be the name the Sirians use as the name of their home planet in Sirius where the Sirian Khan has his residence, but when dealing with humans, they use the same name for one of their mobile hollowed-out craft, Sitchin's Nibiru. They may simply be bluffing us. They want the human soul group to believe that they don't reside in Sirius anymore. They want us to think they are space nomads, that Sirius is uninhabited, and that Ša.AM.e, their old home world, is now moving through deep space, and is part of our solar system. Other scholars, apart from Sitchin, is telling us that Sitchin is wrong, and that Nibiru, in the sense of being the home planet of the Sirians, Anunnaki, is nowhere to be found in the Sumerian scriptures, not even on reference. Instead, the word Nibiru in terms of the same scriptures seems to be the name for the planet Venus. So, it would be interesting to know if the words same and Ša.AM.e are actually mentioned in the scriptures or not, and if they are, what are they symbolizing? But why would they want us to believe that? Perhaps because it would make them seem less like intruders and more like parents. They present themselves as a much older race with more. A superior technology. Intelligence, multidimensional and interdimensional abilities, and therefore, it seems logical that they, as part of our solar system, create life on their neighbor planet, which is Earth. So eventually they create us from a much less intelligent species, and thanks to the Ša.AM.e, our evolution has been sped up 1,000,000-fold. It's a fact that this is what they want us to know, because this is what they have told LPGC, and that's what U2 Shamash told me. And now, our parents are coming back to help us through our adolescence as a species and take the leap into the adult world. In other words, they want us to believe that we owe our existence and our intelligence to them, because they gave us their superior DNA. If they can make us believe all this, they can take us anywhere from there on. But if it is correct that Ša.AM.e actually is their Sirian home planet and headquarters, isn't there a Nibiru on the incoming, then? Well, in the Sirian Empire they use hollowed-out planets to move around in space. The so-called Nibiru could very well be one of them. The thing is that nonetheless, a planet with 9 moons has been spotted on its way towards the solar system since the beginning of the 1980s, at least. There is no doubt about it. But it's not reasonable to believe that this highly technological star race, who has a whole empire under their belt and can travel through the Ka, would take 3,600 years between visits to Earth. In other words, every 3,600 years this incoming planet, filled with Sirians, including King Anu and the whole Parthenon, is reaching our solar system, and the inhabitants rush like crazy to get everything done here before their planet takes off into deep space again and will be gone for another almost 4 millennia. The citizens of Nibiru have larger tasks at hand, they need to stay on Earth for another cycle, because they missed the ship. Not plausible. They have way better technologies than that. There is no doubt that these beings are interdimensional and travel in the nano-world like all other evolved aliens. They have learned to shrink their hollowed-out craft, travel through star lanes, and appear at their destination in next to no time. Not a big deal, unless you are a human on planet Earth. So what I'm saying is that there is no same, and there is no Nibiru in the sense we have been taught. It is quite obvious that the Sirians travel everywhere in space within this sector of the universe, Sector 9, other sectors, and even to other galaxies. And they do so in thousands of hollowed-out asteroids, planetoids, and planets. How do I know? Well, there are sources upon sources telling us that they signed an agreement with the Queen of the Stars, who is the Queen of the Orion Empire. The Orion Empire extends to other sectors of the Milky Way, besides Sector 9, and also to other galaxies, near and far. Once the Sirians signed the contract, they were free to use Orion star lanes, except for Pesh-Medan. They wanted the Sirians to stay away from Pesh-Medan, which leads right through the belt of Orion. The Queen wanted to make sure these warlords didn't take over this particular star lane, which starts at the galactic center and expands out to the edge of the Milky Way and further to the Andromeda Galaxy via an enormous pipeline, as usually is the case between galaxies. Other than that, the Sirians were, and are, permitted to travel anywhere within the Orion Empire and beyond. And they are capable to, no doubt. The same Nibiru we see on NASA space pictures and space films could be any Sirian hollowed-out craft of planet size. They can use one of those every time they want to create a cataclysm in a solar system like our own, if they want to. And this time, Nibiru is here to fulfill Sirian prophecy. The 9 moons are most probably smaller planetoids they will use as space or battleships, because they have more flexibility than a large-sized planet, 5 to 6 times bigger than Earth.